South Carolina officials gave initial approval Tuesday to a $6 million settlement to resolve dozens of prisoners' lawsuits against the Department of Corrections following a riot that killed 7 inmates. The 2018 riot raged for more than 7 hours at Lee Correctional Institution in Bishopville, about 40 miles, 65 kilometers east of Columbia. Most of the slain were stabbed or slashed. Others appeared to have been beaten. One inmate described bodies literally stacked on top of each other, like some make-a-brie woodpile. Correctional officials have blamed the violence, the worst prison riot in 25 years, in part on illegal cell phones, which Department Director Brian Sterling has said represent the greatest security threat inside prisons, because they give inmates an unmonitored way to communicate with the outside world and each other. A Lee prisoner who used a contraband cell phone to offer insight into life behind bars described frequent gang fights with homemade weapons. He said prisoners roamed freely, had easy access to cell phones and drugs, and were often left to police themselves. Just after the riots, both that inmate and an attorney who frequently works in the state's prisons said that the illegal cell phones were frequently furnished by correction officers themselves. A person familiar with the agency's operations backed up those notions, stating that delivery trucks required to be inspected upon entering prison grounds often ferried cell phones and other contraband. Since the riot, numerous security improvements have been implemented across the prison system and specifically at Lee, including a $1 million cell door locking system, 50-foot high nets to limit contraband from being thrown over the fences, and systems to detect cell phones and drones, which could be used to ferry in contraband. Federal communication regulations continue to prevent the full use of the cell signal jamming technology Sterling wants, however. The number of maximum security inmates at Lee has also dwindled from more than 1,300 at the time of the riots to 270. As of this week, according to correction officials, Sterling said inmate assaults on each other, as well as on prison staff, have continually decreased in the years since the riot. I think our staff has been working hard on safety and security, Sterling said, and we've been working hard on getting funding for rehabilitation and reentry programs. There are avenues if people want to better themselves when they come to the Department of Corrections. Is it all nonsense? Smoke and mirrors? A recent killing less than 30 days ago on November 16, 2021 says it is. Officials still have no control. An inmate in a South Carolina prison has died after being stabbed in a fight with other prisoners, according to state correctional officials. Marco Sierra Sanders, 41, died Monday after he was taken to a hospital from Lee Correctional Institution in Bishopville, the South Carolina Department of Corrections said in a news release. 2 other inmates were also transported with injuries that were not life-threatening, the agency reported. A 4th inmate was treated for minor wounds on prison grounds. The Corrections Department and the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division are investigating. An autopsy will be performed. South Carolina prisons are out of control. They can be seen as killing fields. You do not want to go there. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video, and make sure you leave a comment. I got a special guest on once again, man. I had to bring Kelvin back on. There's some things we got to discuss about some of the comments. Other people wanted to see him again. People wanted a part 2. They wanted to hear from you, bro. So, you're back on the show, man. How you feel today?
I'm feeling great, man. Feeling real good, man.
So
I've been working out a lot more, staying positive, staying productive, stuff like that, man.
All right. Hey, I seen that. I didn't know you had a tattoo of
spider
web on your head.
Web head, all the way around. It goes all the way around my whole head.
Did you get that in prison?
Yep.
You're a wild dude, bro. So listen.
Hey, bro, it took him 4 hours because he only had that single little damn thing to run it with, so it took him 4 hours to do that.
I know it probably didn't feel too good, did it?
Man, it swelled my whole face up after that, bro.
So listen, man, I brought you back on the show because there were some comments made. Some people asked me to do a part 2 with you. They want to know more about your dad and his situation. They want to know more about you. And in the video I had said, or I think in a comment I said, man, that guy ain't high or drunk, man. He's just slow, man. He's country slow. Some people are city fast. Some people are country slow. And I didn't mean that as I didn't mean that as a derogatory term, but I wanted people to know that, man, you're not on drugs. Some people are like, man, that guy's on dope. And so tell the people, man, do you use drugs?
Bro, I do not use drugs. I take depression medicine and shit like that, and I take PTSD medicine. That's all I do. I used to smoke marijuana, but I quit that because I got a chance to go and work on the oil fields making $100,000 a year. So I quit weed. I'm gonna give it up for $100,000 a year.
Hey, I would too if I were you. I don't use drugs, bro. I never even smoked weed ever in my life. Some people,
I can tell, bro. I can tell you straight up as get.
Some people don't believe that, but that is what it is. So some people also made comments about, you had talked about you were the shot caller in your unit and the GDs had talked to you or something. And people are like, yeah, right, man. And they use this word called cap. They said you were capping. Talk a little bit about that.
All right. So the dorm that I was in was 18 to 25. So time you turned 26, you had to get out of that dorm. But I got released at 25, So I was one of the oldest people in there, man. Everybody was looking up to me and shit, So, and if anybody disrespected any of my people, like I flipped out on a guy. We was down on the rock, we go down and watch TV. Some people call it rock. Some people call it day room or whatever. We was down there, we was watching TV, and some snitch sit in one of my partner's spot. I just beat him down right then and there, man. Just over a chair, man. Just over a chair. I tried to be nice. I said, hey, bro, can you get up out the chair? He said, I'll sit where the F I want. I split from here to here.
Over the television.
Over the television and him sitting in my homeboy's spot.
It wasn't even your spot. It was your homeboy's spot.
Yeah, but that was like our little table right there,
Yeah. So now I think there's a little more perspective on it, right? Because you said you were in a unit with guys that were 18 to 25. You were the older dude. So some of the people did come to you. I've been in places where there's been a bunch of young dudes and they have no direction. They really have no direction.
You're right, bro. You exactly right.
So maybe that might clarify things up a little bit. Some other people chimed in and said, man, Kelvin's a troublemaker. Is that true?
I'm not a troublemaker, man. I could say I used to be one back in the day, back whenever I was going through that phase, being locked up and all that. Yeah, man, I was a troublemaker. But everybody knows I got a YouTube channel probably. And I do start beefs on there, but the reason I start beefs is because I feel like these guys are phony, but I'm thinking about changing my channel around. I've been doing a lot of thinking on that, so I'm working on it, man. I'm working on bettering myself too, man,
Listen, man, negativity probably gets you nothing for real. Some people think that if you beef with other people and you start stuff with other people, that it'll bring you attention. It might be momentarily, for the moment, it might be attention, right? But man, that stuff fizzles out pretty quick. That's why I try not to engage in that stuff. Like, there's no reason for it, right? Really, there isn't. Right. It doesn't benefit you. In the end, it doesn't benefit you.
You exactly right, man. Yep. So I'm probably gonna cut that out. I like the box and stuff. So I just call them out the box. I ain't trying to go wet somebody up.
Well, you said some disrespectful things to me on the email. Do you remember?
Yeah, you talking about back whenever we first started talking?
Yeah, because I didn't get back to you right away.
I know, and hey, bro, I apologize for that.
Oh, it's all good. I know you talk about boxing. You ever seen that little clip I got on my channel where I'm hitting that heavy bag?
No, I need to check that out, man.
Yeah, you should probably check that out, man.
Yeah, bro, I'm gonna check that out.
It's all good, man. I'm not tripping.
Honestly, bro, I say checking your channel out more than I do anybody's now.
I appreciate it. So, Kelvin, I want to talk more about the way that you grew up, too, because some people had asked more about that in depth, because we talked about your father being part of the Aryan Brotherhood in prison, kind of, not being a real good example for his sons. and living a life where, in some respects, I call it a lie, man. Some people live a lie. And other times I say people are living life just waiting to die. And what I mean by that is sometimes you ride through the hood, man, and you're like, wow, look at these people. They're just living to die. These people that are living in abandoned buildings, these people that are getting high every day. People that I've seen, man, before I went to prison are still getting high. And I'm like, wow, this dude's still out here living to die. Tell me more about how you grew up, man. Where did you grow up?
Man, I grew up in South Carolina, and if a lot of people don't know, down south is pretty violent, man. Pretty violent on the streets, in prison, anywhere you go. You can be riding down the road, somebody honk the horn, you see people squaring off right then and there. So I've been basically throwing my hands and fighting and stuff since I was a little kindergartner in damn school, man. And then it just progressed and progressed and progressed. And then after a while, people tried to jump at me and stuff, and I did what I had to do to protect myself. I took it to another level. I'm not gonna speak on what I did, but I took it to another level, And then that kind of messed me up here, bro. So that's why I'm on the PTSD medicine and depression medicine and stuff like that, man.
When you were growing up, did you grow up poor?
I wouldn't say poor. I was about in between, about middle class, I'd say.
Middle class. So who was working in the house? Who was providing for your family? Was it your dad?
My mom.
Your mom.
Yeah.
What did your mother do for a living? I'm curious.
My mom, she was a teacher at a preschool.
So your mom's a teacher, and your father was caught up in the streets. Was your father in the household when you were a kid?
There for a little while, for about 5 years he was there. He stayed out of trouble for about 5 years.
Was he working?
Yeah, he was actually a electrician, man. I mean, he had the brains, but I don't know, man. He was so much into that trouble and stuff like that, man. Getting into drugs. I mean, I hate to say this about my dad. I know my dad will be watching this, but he knows he was into drugs and stuff like that. I'm not trying to make him feel bad, but he was into drugs and he chose drugs over us,
So he was a drug addict.
Yep. For a while, yep.
Were there times when you were younger where you were like, damn, man, I wish my dad just throw a football with me, but instead he's out getting high?
Yeah, man, there was a lot of times, man, and I wish my dad was there with me and stuff, man. I wish we could have just done anything, I mean, we did a lot of cool stuff together and stuff like that, but like I say, he wasn't there a whole lot, man. And then me and my little brother, I mean, we owned our own land and house and stuff like that, but my mom didn't struggle, but me and my little brother, we was like, we gonna get out here and we gonna get this money too, at a very young age, man,
If you're growing up in a middle class family, right? What made you want to say, hey, I want to go out here and sell drugs. I want to get in the dope game?
Because I didn't want to ask my mom for stuff. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to put more of a burden on her. And then, I don't know, going to school and other people was doing it. Then we went to juvenile, and then and then I got connected.
Did you ever think about getting a job back then, or was it just like, man, I'm about to hustle?
I never wasn't thinking about getting no job. I was only thinking about hustling, man. Stupid.
What do you think influenced you to do that?
Huh?
What do you think influenced you to do that? Hold on. Was it music? Was it, things that you've seen in magazines where you're like, damn, man, I want to be like that dude or like this dude? Because when I was a kid, the dudes that we idolized in my neighborhood were the drug dealers. They were the dudes with the chicks, with the cars, with the nice clothes. What influenced you?
Well, yeah, like you say, music had an effect, but then whenever you roll into the hood and you see all the flashy cars and everybody's all over there by the main man and stuff like that, wanted to be like that dude, I mean, I hate to say it, my dad wasn't there, so I wanted to be like the next man I seen get money and stuff like that, man. But as you grow older and wiser and stuff, bro, the drug dealing and all that gets you nowhere. I mean, you should know this shit, man. Like, drug dealing and stuff gets you nowhere. In the end, you won't have nothing, man, because they're going to take it all from you. Take it all from you. They catch you with drugs, they taking your money, your car, everything.
Was there ever times when you were scared, like, damn, I don't want to go to prison. I could get caught for this, and, I might get this amount of time, or I might get this?
Well, not back whenever I was younger. I think about it like I don't sell drugs or anything now, but my mind, man, it's like I always kind of, I don't know, I see a cop and I'm like, oh shit. But then I'm like, what I got to worry about? I ain't doing anything wrong, But it's just, it was just programmed in my mind like that, man.
Did you think you weren't doing anything wrong when you were selling drugs?
Yeah, I mean, I was young and dumb, man. So I just thought I was that dude, and all the girls came to me and stuff like that. But I mean, that's not cool, man. If you want a female in your life that's really gonna be about something, stay in school, man. Stay with the ones that care about getting their education and stuff like that, man. Don't be following up with these drug dealers, because in the end, you're either gonna be dead or you're going to prison.
Definitely. I want to talk more about your dad, right? We spoke about your dad before. He's part of the Aryan Brotherhood in South Carolina prison, right?
Yeah.
Is he a shot caller over there?
Yep. He was a shot caller, but, man, my dad, he's getting older now, man. So he finally got off of a maximum yard. Finally. Just like 2 weeks ago, So now he's in a dorm that's 40 and above. So he's a little more laid back with that type of stuff now. But whenever he first got up in there, man, he had to rise up in the ranks and shit like that. And he was, I don't know, man. It was just crazy. He was doing a lot of crazy shit. And they call it the Aryan Brotherhood. But you know what, man? I mean, I'm not talking shit, but in certain places, certain states, I would label that shit the Heroin Brotherhood.
I used to say that, man, to some of the ABT dudes when I was in Big Sandy. I think I wrote about that in my book. But anyway, so your dad, right, growing up, was he into that kind of white power type of stuff, things like that when you were a kid? Or was that something that he did when he went to prison?
He wasn't too big on it whenever he was in the streets, but whenever he went to prison, yeah, he was definitely real big on it. And growing up down south, man, like, people are naturally like gonna be racist towards each other, whites and blacks, It ain't just it ain't a one-sided party, like all whites are against blacks. No, black people are racist too, white people are racist.
So, more about your dad, right? Because I kind of want to focus on your father a little bit. Okay. You said he did a lot of crazy things in prison. Like, what type of things? Would he call home and say, hey, I'm in the hole, this is what happened?
Man, let me tell you a real crazy story. He was down in the hole, right? And they got a lot of phones and shit in the system down there, right? Because whenever you did the last thing about Lee County, that was the prison that my dad was currently at that time, right? But anyway, they sent him down to the hole, right? He like jams his door with a knife. They gas him. He's laying down, covering up. Like, they gassed him for about 45 minutes. So he sent him down to the hole, and then he still got his phone with him, and he's so doped up, man. He calls 911 and tells him that the damn warden's trying to shoot him through the damn wall. If I'm lying, I'm dying, bro. If I'm lying, I'm dying. My dad's gonna be mad, but I'm gonna say, bro, it's just the truth. It's the truth.
He called 911 from the prison.
In lockup, in confinement.
And what happened?
Oh, man, they got all over his ass. Needless to say, they got that phone, and he stayed in confinement for a long, long time.
How long would you say?
Oh, man, I forgot. I think about a year.
Does your dad ever talk about the past, what caused him to go to prison?
The way he grew up, man, he grew up kind of like in a violent violent lifestyle, man. And I don't know, he just never really took no shit. He never played, and he kind of implanted that into my head too. Don't take no disrespect from nobody, none of that bullshit. So I was already prepped before I even went inside the system.
Let me ask you this: does he ever talk about any regrets, or how he wants to get out? He wants to change his life.
Yes, now he does. And a sad thing is, man, my dad, he never told me he was proud of me, man, until after he got into prison this last time. And he was in there for I'd say he was in there about 6 years until he told me that. And he told me he was proud of me, man. That made me feel so damn good, because I don't know if you remember from the last interview, I lost my mom at 18. So I didn't really have a whole lot of people. But, man, that just felt so good to hear him say that he was proud of me, man, because I changed a lot, man.
I remember you talking about your mom. How did your mom pass away again?
My mom, she was on a horse, and she'd been riding horses her whole life.
Yeah.
But she was on a horse, and it reared up, and then threw her off. And my little nephew was on there with her, and he was about, I want to say, about 9 months old. And she covered him up and just took the fall and hit the back of her head, right?
Yeah.
So she goes to the hospital. They send her home. And then she's crying the next morning about her head hurt. So then take her to a better hospital, and they say she got bleeding on the brain. So then they had her in a regular room for about 3 days. And I didn't make it up there yet that day. I remember it was a Sunday. And I got a phone call saying that my mom passed away, that she quit breathing and stuff. But of course, if they're in the hospital, they'll take them to the ICU and hook them up to all that life support and all that type of stuff. So she was on life support for about a week, and I had to watch all that, man. It really hurt me, and it really, I don't know, just really made me turn to a real hateful person, And I think that's why I started following in my dad's footsteps, because my mom was no longer around, So I started following in my dad's footsteps, man.
So really, at that point, you were pretty much taking care of yourself, huh?
Yeah, me and my little brother, the one that's in prison too.
Who helps your little brother out while he's in prison?
Like I say, he does his thing, but if he ever needs anything, he calls me. He's got like a chick and stuff like that, so he's pretty well taken care of, He's just ready to come home, man.
Is he involved in any gang stuff?
Nope. My brother is not involved in any gang. He's his own man. He'll walk in the room with 6, 7 of them. He don't care.
Is he angry about his situation?
I'm sure he is, but he's pretty good at hiding it. But some days you could tell he's real frustrated, and those are the days that I really try to stay in contact with him and stuff, man, because I know, man, if you get frustrated behind them walls, bro, you could do anything. You could do any type of crazy thing.
Tell the people when your brother's release date is.
Let's see. You got about 10 more years left. So what, 32?
Say 31, 32.
31, 32, and my dad's is 38.
What year was your brother arrested?
2012.
2012 to 2032. How old was he?
He was 20.
So he's going to get out when he's 40, right? And some people might be watching the show and think, well, he went in when he's 20, gets out when he's 40. He's still a young man. But what they might not think about is this, Kelvin. That he is going to lose, and he has lost, the best years of his life, man. His 20s, his 30s. Those are the best years of your life, and now they're gone, right?
Yeah, man. It really bothers me a lot deep down that they're still in there, because before, like I said, we all got sentenced. Well, my dad got sentenced a week before us because he took a trial. And he did beat the murder charge, but they dropped it to voluntary manslaughter, okay? But they tried me, my brother, and 2 other co-defendants, which were females, on the same day. I remember walking out after I just got my sentence, and I'm feeling like, shit, 2.5 years and I'm going home, you know?
Yeah.
But then I look at my brother and he's sitting down, you know, in the little holding cell, and they got the little flap right there. And he looks at me, he's like, what you got going on, bro? I said, I just got a little bit more stretch. They gave me credited time for the time that I was already in the county. And shit, I was like, I got about another 1.5 years and I'm going home, bro. But he looked at me and it was the craziest look. I could tell he was hurt. He said, bro, I just got 22 years. And they was telling him they was going to give him 3 to 5 years.
Unbelievable, man. Same thing with your dad, man. How old was your dad when your dad went in?
My dad was in it, I think he was 45.
So how old's he going to be when he gets out? About 70-something?
Yeah, about 70.
About 70. What good time. I want people to think about that, man. Imagine going in at 45 and getting out when you're 70.
Yeah, man. It's sad, bro. It's sad, man. And like, I know wrong is wrong, but my family got taken. That was my immediate family, bro. They got taken away from me. So once I got out, I left South Carolina. There wasn't nothing else there for me, bro, but trouble. You know?
What made you go to Colorado?
I just came up here. I had a best friend that I know since kindergarten, right? And, you know, he would write me, send me money and stuff like that while I was locked up. We talk on the phone and stuff like that. He's like, bro, as soon as you get out, man, come on up here with me, man. He's like, I told you the last time you got called up to come up here and you ain't listening, you end up in trouble again. So I came up here, and I've been up here almost 7 years now. I got a son up here. He's 4 years old. That really helped change me a lot.
That's what's up. So listen, check this out, right? On the video, and in the comments, I also said, man, he ain't on drugs, man. He's just country as hell, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you take offense to that I had said you were country?
No, man. I know I'm country as hell. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
But see, I've been in prison, right? When I was in federal prison, I've been around a lot of people that were from the country. Yeah. So that's why I could tell people like, hey, man, this dude's country as hell. He ain't high. He ain't on drugs. He's just country. Straight country.
That's exactly right.
And some people from these bigger cities, like I wouldn't be able to comprehend it either if I wouldn't have been around those people for that long. And, you know, I got along with a lot of people that were from the country, but some people couldn't understand that. And that's really why I wanted to bring you on, too, to let people know that you ain't on drugs. You're actually kind of doing the right thing. I see you beef with people and start talking stuff to people and a little bit of shit to this person and that person. But you know what, man? At the end of the day, I really feel like, man, your life wasn't easy, man. You had a hard life, man.
Bro, I had to fight a lot.
And although you didn't do a whole bunch of time in prison, what I do see in you is that it probably changed you a little bit. You went to Colorado, you got a son, you know, you're working, you know, you're trying to dress a little bit better. You want to get in the oil fields. You want to change your life, man. And that's what motivated me to bring you on again for a second time, for real. Like, because I talk to you now and I see that, hey, man, this dude's really trying to make some things happen. And I want people to see that. I want people to see that, hey, man, Kelvin's not an idiot. Kelvin's a dude that, man, he's got some flaws, but we all do. But that you're trying to change your life, man. And that's what's important.
And I want to be a positive role model for my son. I never want him to see the inside of a jail or a prison, ever. You know? That's
what's up, man. You let him know you love him all the time?
Man, that's my heart. That's my world, man. My son comes before anybody, which I got an old lady I've been with about 4 years now, but my son, that's my heart, man. That's my heart.
That's what's up. So look, Kelvin, before we close the show, man, anything you want to say? You want to address anybody that was leaving comments or people that said things?
Like, yo, I'm country, man. Like, Chad's from New York. I'm glad that he's been around and seen different stuff. I mean, if you ain't traveled around the country, then you won't know, you know? I'm not on drugs. I mean, look at me, man. I work out every day. You know? I work out every day, bro. I ain't got time to do drugs, you know?
That's it, man.
I stay eating steak. I stay trying to get big, you know?
Don't trip, man. We're going to close the show, man. Kelvin, we appreciate you for coming on. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.